Well, good morning, Lionhearts. Look what I got in the mail yesterday. A tiger eye bracelet. Now you're probably wondering, so what? Yeah, I don't even like brown. I don't like the color brown, so I don't know why I even got it, but I actually do know why I got it. If you remember when I told you guys about Valentino had a tiger eye ring, and it was supposedly bad luck. But in Chinese culture, from everything I understand, tiger eye is supposed to bring you wealth and good fortune. So I decided to order myself a tiger eye bracelet, and I'm going to wear it on my right hand, the hand that I sign contracts with, checks with, everything, and I'm going to start wearing it and just see if I have bad luck or if I have good luck. So we shall see. So Jai actually made out like a bandit. Yesterday when Leonard, Jasmine, and Amaya were here, they insisted on buying him a belated birthday present, and they got him his favorite foods, this little jerky stuff, this real meat jerky. He loves that, and he loves these little dinner patties. They're like dehydrated. Oops, dropped it. Little dehydrated patties. He loves them, so he's going to have some breakfast now thanks to them. How about that, Ja? How about that? Look, you can't even take your eyes off it. Ooh. Good morning, Lionhearts. I don't know what we're going to do today. It's a good friend of mine's birthday today, and we were supposed to go. He was going to have some celebration at the beach, but I don't know what's going on because I haven't heard from him. And when I went on my Facebook, he had posted a post on Facebook saying that his phone, for some reason, won't hold the charge, but he's not going to let it ruin his birthday. So I don't know what he's doing. That was my plan. I was planning on going and vlogging the beach wherever we were at today, but I just get the feeling that's not going to happen. So I'm going to stay home and I'm going to watch the Clipper Game 7, and then I'm going to figure out something for us to do today. It's pretty hot. I woke up pretty late. I didn't get up until 11:30 today, if you can believe that. I was tired. And I don't know. We'll find something memorable about today that I can do sometime after 3 o'clock. So Daze with Jordan the Lion begins now! Well, we're at halftime right now, and the Clippers are down by 6. This might be the last game of my season. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. He's in fight mode. You want to wrestle, don't you? This is what happens. I'm watching the basketball game, I look over, and you're down there ready to fight me. Let's wrestle. Well, unfortunately, my basketball season is over. We lost, and probably going to blow up the team. Probably won't see most of those guys anymore. I hope we won't see the coach anymore, but I don't know. We'll find out. Time to get on with our day. Let's go. Those are interesting planners. John and I are out going for a walk. I'm going to show you this building I've always kind of liked and always admired, and it's got some really interesting architecture. So we want to go out and get him some exercise, so I figured I haven't been over here in a while. There's the Pink Elephant Liquor Store. They also deliver liquor, and one of the old stories that's attached to this place is this was another one of Charles Bukowski's drinking spots, one of his neighborhood liquor stores that he'd always wander into. Look, it's more of those weird faces. I've seen these at different times. Somebody's going around town like painting them all over the sidewalks. I don't know what it's all about. If it's a street artist or something. I guess that must be who it is. I don't know. Well, here's the Trianon. This is the big castle building that I was telling you guys about that I wanted to walk over and show you. And it actually has a little bit of a history. It was the former home. Well, actually, it was commissioned and built for Mary Pickford and Douglas Fairbanks. They thought there weren't enough kind of nice places for actors to live that were close to studios, and at the time this was pretty close to Paramount and when Fox was over here, so they had this built for various actors to live in. And at one point the penthouse was occupied by Xavier Cugat, the Latin band leader, and it was actually during the time, or at least while he was living here, he married Charo. And so various people on like a lot of forums about this place were saying how they would see Charo and Xavier Cugat out walking their chihuahuas here. And this was actually also, in the 60s, this was a home of, well, I wouldn't say a home, but it was a crash pad for James Garner. And who knows what was going on here, but said he wasn't a constant resident, but occupants of the building would see him every now and again and knew that he kept this place for his personal use. Which I thought was pretty interesting. I'm gonna walk around the building a little bit, and this was actually like, this was built in the late 20s, so this was one of those things that like all the building and the architecture at that point was really kind of like inspired by a lot of the French chateaus at the time. So that's why it's got this really interesting look to it. Here's more of a corner view of it. And this was actually designed by the famous architect Leland A. Bryant. And he was the guy who did the Sunset Tower Hotel. Well, I think it's more of a live-in building now, but it's one of the more famous buildings up on the Hollywood Register for places to live. Check that out. How cool is that? And actually, for a time in the 60s, the president of the Rolls-Royce of America company owned this place, and he occupied one of the penthouses as well. Pretty interesting history to this place. Now, I actually felt the need to show you this building as well, because even though it's kind of a dingy little apartment and it kind of looks like a dump, somebody pretty influential actually lived here. If you guys remember when I was talking about Cecil B. DeMille during the Hollywood Heritage Museum vlog and stuff, I told you he came out here in 1913 to make the first full-length feature silent film called The Squaw Man. And he came out here with a small group of people, and one of the people that he came out here with that would be part of that group that would eventually help form Paramount was Oscar Apfel. And this apartment building right here was the last home of Oscar Apfel. He lived here from 1923 until he died in 1938. So it's, you know, kind of a dingy looking place, to be perfectly honest with you, but for somebody who is heavily responsible for being one of the cogs in the mechanism in the wheel of making the very first silent film of all time, like the first full-length silent film of all time, I felt like since it was right next door, I should probably at least show you. And I'll include a picture of Oscar in here as well. Now this right here, this house right here was actually the longtime home of one of the most famous and successful television producers of all time, Quinn Martin. Quinn Martin from 1959 until 1980 had a record 21 years of having a show in prime time every single year. Isn't that something? One of his that I recognized right away was Barnaby Jones. And Quinn Martin is actually in the Television Hall of Fame as well. I thought I should show you this little place too. Its only real significance is a man named Buster Wiles lived here, and he was Errol Flynn's stunt double for all the Robin Hood movies. Now this place used to be called the LaBelle Apartments, and in the early 20s, its most famous resident was Stan Laurel before he went out to Fort Laurel. I decided to come get a salad at Farmer Boy's. It's like 7 o'clock at night and I haven't eaten yet, so salad it is. Wow, now that is a salad. Comes in like a freaking bucket. Look how big it is compared to my hand, jeez. I'll have to keep this spot in mind in the future for when I want to do a time lapse. I didn't bring the new Canon camera with me. I was just out getting a bite to eat, so I'm filming this on the cell phone, but this looks like this would be a great place for a nice time lapse sometime. The Frank Drebin Motel. Some days you just don't feel like vlogging, and this was kind of one of those days for me, guys, so sorry I kind of mailed it in by walking around the neighborhood and looking up stuff along the way. I just in a funk today.